Some of these aircraft fly into places that would make a private jet cry for help. People think turboprops are slow, expensive toys, but they're not. They land where jets quit, stay affordable, and today's list proves it. Number 10. Pilatus PC-6 Porter. And here's where it gets interesting, because number 10 isn't flashy, it's unstoppable. The Pilatus PC-6 Porter isn't the aircraft you buy to impress your neighbors. This is the machine you buy when you want to land on gravel, grass, mud, sand, or places where even helicopters hesitate. Older models sit comfortably in the $450,000 to $750,000 range, making it one of the most rugged and affordable utility turboprops still flying strong. It runs a single Pratt & Whitney PT-6A engine, pumping out roughly 550 shaft horsepower, enough to shove this thing off the ground in shockingly short distances. Cruise speed? About 120 to 130 miles per hour? Nothing crazy, but that's not the point. Range stretches to roughly 600 nautical miles, and the cabin can fit up to 10 people in pure utility mode. Skydiving operators, bush pilots, missionary flights, and remote logistics companies swear by it. It's the plane that gets the job done when everything else says nope. Number 9. TBM 700, early models. But here's the twist. The next one is shockingly fast for its price bracket. Sliding into number 9, the early model TBM 700 is the aircraft you pick when you want jet-like performance. Without the jet-like price tag early 1990s, units now dip into the $900,000 to $1.1 million range, and yes, that technically keeps it under the $1 million mark for many negotiations. And trust me, buyers negotiate hard. Under the nose sits a single PT-6A-64 engine, pushing out a fierce 700-plus shaft horsepower, and you feel it. The range stretches to a solid 1,300 nautical miles, and the cabin holds 4 to 6 passengers in comfortable, pressurized quiet. Pros? It's fast, fuel-efficient, and lands on surprisingly short runways. It feels like a personal rocket with a propeller. Cons? Parts and maintenance aren't cheap, and early avionics can feel dated unless upgraded. Still, for pure speed per dollar, nothing in this class even gets close. If you've ever dreamed of owning a mini jet, this is as close as it gets without breaking the bank. Number 8. Piaggio P166. For something most people never see coming. The Piaggio P166 isn't a common sight, and that's exactly why it earns a spot on this list. This Italian twin-engine turboprop, quirky, wide-winged, and unmistakable, can often be found in the $350,000 to $700,000 range, depending on condition. That's ridiculously good value for a twin. Powered by 2 PT-6A engines in later variants, the P166 delivers roughly 550 to 680 shaft horsepower combined, giving you cruise speeds around 210 to 230 miles per hour. Range lands in the 900 to 1,100 nautical mile zone, and the cabin fits 6 to 8 passengers, depending on interior layout. Pros? Fantastic visibility, rugged landing gear, and tons of cabin volume. Cons? It's niche, so resale can be slow, and some parts require digging. Still, if you want an underrated twin turboprop that stands out on the ramp, this is the dark horse worth considering. Number 7. Piper P. A 31 Cheyenne. here's where the list suddenly jumps in attitude. The Piper PA-31. Cheyenne is one of those aircraft that looks modest on the ramp, but punches far above its price tag. Built between 1974 and 1984, these twins now go for around $250,000 to $400,000, which is ridiculous when you consider what's under the hood. Two Pratt & Whitney PT-6 A engines pushing out a combined 600 to 720 shaft horsepower give this thing enough muscle to cruise between 220 and 250 miles per hour. Fast enough that pilots still smile talking about it. Range? A clean 1,000 to 1,200 nautical miles, which means New York to Miami in one hop without sweating fuel numbers. And the cabin? That's the part that repeatedly surprises buyers, a fully pressurized interior with seating for 6 to 8, giving it a mini business jet vibe without the business jet bill. Operating costs sit in the $400 to $600 per hour bracket, which is fair for a twin this capable. The catch? Parts availability can be a scavenger hunt, and you absolutely want a mechanic who knows Cheyennes personally. But for pure value, it's one of the smartest purchases on the turboprop market. Number 6, Cessna 425 Corsair/Conquest 1. Now here's the aircraft that quietly became a cult favorite. Sliding into number 6, the Cessna 425 Corsair, later renamed the Conquest 1, is what happens when Cessna tries to build a turboprop that feels familiar but performs like a step-up. These birds, built between 1980 and 1986, usually sell between $300,000 and $550,000, depending on avionics and upkeep. Power comes from two PT-6 A112 engines, delivering 450 shaft horsepower each, enough to cruise right around 230 miles per hour with almost no fuss. The range sits at a steady 1,000 nautical miles, and the pressurized cabin fits 6 to 8 passengers comfortably, which feels almost unfair at this price point. Pilots rave about its stable, predictable handling, calling it one of the easiest twin turboprops to transition into. Operating costs stay between $350 and $500 an hour, which is shockingly reasonable for a pressurized twin. Quiet, reliable, familiar. That's the Corsair in a nutshell. Number 5. Mitsubishi MU2. This is where the list gets controversial, in the best way possible. The Mitsubishi MU2 is one of the fastest, fiercest turboprops you can buy under $1 million. Built from 1963 to 1986, it sells anywhere from $300,000 to $600,000, and for that price, you're getting performance that still embarrasses modern aircraft. Its two Garrett TPE 331 engines, producing 605 to 715 shaft horsepower, push the MU2 to cruise speeds of 290 to 310 miles per hour. Speeds that flirt with small jet territory range? A very respectable 1,000 to 1,300 nautical miles, depending on the variant. Operating costs land between $400 and $550 per hour, and parts support today is surprisingly strong thanks to dedicated MU2 networks. Love it or fear it, the MU2 is a rocket disguised as a turboprop. Number 4, Beechcraft King Air C90. Here comes the legend. The turboprop everyone secretly compares everything else to. The Beechcraft King Air C90, introduced in 1972, is what pilots like to call the Toyota Camry of turboprops. Not flashy, not loud, not dramatic, but absurdly reliable. These older models now sit in the $400,000 to $700,000 range. And for what you get, that feels almost unreal. Under the wings sit two PT-6A21 engines, each pushing 550 shaft horsepower, giving the C90 a calm and confident cruise of around 226 miles per hour. The range lands right at 1,000 nautical miles, and the pressurized cabin, seating 6 to 8 passengers, feels like stepping into the entry level of corporate aviation without the corporate aviation cost. Operating costs usually fall between $500 and $700 per hour, but the C90 pays you back with stellar resale value and near bulletproof reliability. If safety and sanity had a mascot, it would be this airplane. Number 3. Piper P-31 T Cheyenne I/IA. Just when you think the list is slowing down, here comes a curveball. The Piper PA-31 T Cheyenne I and IA often get overshadowed by the bigger Cheyenne variants, but these baby Cheyennes might be the smartest bargain in the entire turboprop world. Most sell between $200,000 and $400,000, which feels almost suspicious considering what's inside. These models run a single PT-6A11 or PT-6A28, producing 500 to 620 shaft horsepower, enough to push cruise speeds to 190 to 205 miles per hour. Sure, it won't outrun a MU-2, but it sips fuel gently, stretches 800 to 900 nautical miles, and packs a pressurized 6-seat cabin that feels surprisingly premium at this price. Here's the real kicker. The operating costs are almost unbelievable for a turboprop, dropping into the $250 to $400 per hour range. That's where piston twins start sweating. Of course, the trade-off is obvious: one engine instead of two. You lose redundancy, but the PT-6 is so famously indestructible that countless pilots consider it a fair gamble. Affordable, efficient, criminally underrated. That's the Cheyenne I. Number 2, Cessna 208 Caravan. Here comes the workhorse that basically built its own reputation across entire continents. The Cessna 208 Caravan is the aircraft that never complains. Skydivers jump out of it. Mail systems trust it. Commuter airlines use it every day. Older units typically land in the $500,000 to $800,000 range. And for many operators, that's an easy yes. A single PT-6A114A engine delivering 675 shaft horsepower carries this big-shouldered machine to a cruise of 184 miles per hour. Not fast, but brutally consistent range hits 1,015 nautical miles, and the cabin can carry up to 14 passengers, depending on configuration. It's like a small bus with wings, but one that can land practically anywhere. Reliability is the Caravan's entire personality. It's still in production. Mechanics from Alaska to Kenya know every bolt. Parts are never a guessing game, and operating costs stay between $350 and $500 per hour, making it an operator's dream. Skydiving schools, mail carriers, humanitarian groups, cargo companies, everyone loves the Caravan because it just works, every single time. Number 1. Pacific Aerospace 750 XL. And now, the king of ruggedness. The aircraft was built for places most people will never see. The Pacific Aerospace 750 XL takes the #1 spot because nothing in this price range works harder. You can still find used units between $300,000 and $550,000, which is mind-blowing considering the punishment these aircraft can survive. A single PT-6A-34 engine, producing 750 shaft horsepower, gives it that chunky, muscular performance needed for steep climbs and brutal strips. It cruises around 174 miles per hour, with a range of 700 nautical miles, and can carry up to 9 passengers or a cabin full of cargo without flinching. This airplane was designed for the outskirts of the world: dirt runways, jungle strips, mountain villages, skydiving drop zones, mining camps. It's a flying toolbox with a propeller. Operating costs run $300 to $450 per hour, and every bit of that goes into raw capability. The airframe is simple, rugged, and built to be repaired in places where you're more likely to find goats than ground crew. If toughness had wings, it would be the 750 XL. If you're an aviation lover, this list proves you don't need millions to reach the skies. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which turboprop surprised you most? And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe. The next video dives even deeper into the wild side of aviation adventure.